Made it back safe and sound with the tar, y'all. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you enjoyed watching that series. That was craziest thing I've ever done, and I just feel like a much stronger person. I'm so glad all that happened. I'm glad that we got down safely and everything, but now we get to really just enjoy, tell stories, enjoy the meat, and just have a good time and reflect. So I've got my tar right here. So this is my tar skull and cape that's in there. It's what I carried down the mountain. So these horns actually measure out a little over 13 inches, a little over 13 and a half. I think the other one's 13 and 3/4. So it's a really nice tar, old bull tar. And we've got some of the meat that's inside. Now Wendy, who's been with us this whole time, JT met Wendy and Todd on a moose hunt, and Wendy is the cook at camp. She keeps the spirits high. Wendy's awesome. I love Wendy. So she is going to cook up some of this tar, and we're going to taste the flavors. So let's go inside, see how we cook up some tar, and see how it tastes. Now I will tell you right off the bat, goats usually stink a little bit, and this one definitely did. Big bull, just how you would imagine when we came up on it. Had like a real musky smell. So I'm wondering what the meat is going to taste like, but man, it's just going to be good to have some good protein after eating, like, you know, dehydrated meals this whole time. So let's go see how to cook it up, and let's give it a taste. What do you think about tar meat?
Not bad.
We probably need something more for your video than that. Skillet, a little bit of seasoning, a little grease.
Simple mountain style.
Yep. Key is to get all the sinew off. That's what the chewy stuff is.
The sinew, that's basically the fat.
Yeah, well that's kind of a layer of like that silver skin they call it.
Yeah, that gives it the gamey taste.
Yeah, well it just makes it chewy as like rubber. So the more you get, you can like fillet it off almost. But yeah, it's just gets really.
Look at that. There's hardly any fat.
No, they're a pretty lean animal. So they got an okay flavor, but I used to put a little seasoning on them. Definitely got to get all that silver skin off.
That's 5,000 foot meat right there.
A little tough being a 9-year-old bull, but with enough seasoning, we should be able to make it taste pretty good.
Do you count rings on a tar like you do?
Sheep. Yeah.
Yep. I want you to show me how to do that.
It's like a tree.
Yep.
Okay, we're throwing on a couple different seasonings. What do you got here, Dottie?
Got a little garlic and herb, and then just a steak seasoning. So
Like just a general kind of steak mix.
not sure what's in it, but yeah, I'm sure it'll taste pretty good.
So a couple different flavors here, little tar samplings.
Yeah, these little back straps. Got a little breakfast skillet to go along with it.
We've been eating dehydrated meals for so many days.
I think it's going to be pretty tasty.
JT, what are your thoughts about what happened yesterday?
I was just glad y'all made it back. You know, I was up there by myself here across from camp. I wasn't nearly as far as y'all. I was about a 2.5 hour hike back down, and I saw the rain coming and messaged Wendy and the warden, and they kind of both agreed after the waterfalls that were up there where I was the day before, like, that I should probably head down. So I made it back down in I think 2.5 hours, 2 hours, something like that. And so I got here before the real bad stuff hit, and I was just glad y'all made it back, honestly.
Yeah, you had good timing.
Yeah.
You were smart. Me and Todd, we tried to get out of there as soon as possible. I think we did, but
I didn't have a tar on the ground to deal with, so
I think it wasn't. We caped it out kind of quickly. It was just like that initial descent back to the tents took 2 hours. and that's where I thought my legs were gonna die.
I got a solid 1 day of bow hunting in this trip. 11-day trip, got 1 day of bow hunting. I had a bull tar at 125, 130 yards though, so if I was gun hunting, I could have killed one. But
What do you think about New Zealand hunting?
I've learned a lot.
Yeah, I have too.
I've learned a lot about my equipment. I've always been a long axle-to-axle bow guy, but after this trip, you definitely need a shorter bow for a steep mountain hunt like this. Just when it's strapped to your pack, it's more compact. You won't hit it on as much stuff. You won't get hung as much. So I definitely have to reevaluate my equipment when I get home.
Going to the skillet. We got a little lard in there.
Yeah, a little grease, yep.
Pretty dark in here, y'all, but that's what we've been dealing with. There's one little light that runs on solar right there. The rest is just headlamps. It smells pretty good. It doesn't smell tar-like. It doesn't smell like that gamey, musty, big old male goat smell.
A lot like mountain goat, only just a little bit tougher.
How would you describe a tar to everybody? Like the animal itself.
Oh, tar. He's like the gorilla of the mountain. Like a gorilla, crossed with a bulldog, crossed with a grizzly bear / lion. He's got a front end on him like a bulldog, but
A mythical creature.
A mythical creature. He's got the swagger of a grizzly bear.
Basically Todd of the mountain.
Toughest son of a gun I've ever met right there. I don't know if it's all Kiwis or it's just Todd, but
All in these mountains, you kind of
get used to it.
get used to it. But I've definitely been softened over the last few years. Had it pretty easy in North America.
So yeah, you're in BC now, right?
Reality shock. Yeah.
Give a little flip.
Yeah, flip her over.
Oh yeah.
I can do. This was kind of pushing it, getting this many days.
Because,
Just gonna have to get lucky and get like 5 days of good weather.
but yeah, but that's the thing is
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Cheers, Donnie.
It's alive, kids. Stars.
Flavor's really good.
it is amazing.
It's chewy, but there's not that stank.
The wild game, this had a really good flavor, like some of the best flavor I've had.
Honestly, I've had deer that are more gamey than that.
Didn't you say if you shoot a female, it's a lot less chewy than one?
Yeah, that's a 9-year-old bull, so
Probably like your moose.
he spends a bit of time on the hill, running around.
Cooked medium rare.
Have a couple fresh pieces.
Another fresh piece. Show you guys. This is just like straight off the mountain. There's no tenderizing or anything. Old bull tar. Tom was saying that the younger ones are actually like some of the best eating in New Zealand. As far as wild game goes. I heard the kiwi's pretty good too.
You want to get your ass deported?
Just kidding.
Where's yours?
Impressions of the tar meat, y'all. I'm so surprised that it was that good. I mean, it was chewy. Don't get me wrong, it was really chewy. But for any kind of old animal, it's going to be a little chewy, especially since I shot it that evening, and then it basically bedded down all night, so it probably tensed up. I don't know. I kind of tend to think that when animals don't die like instantly right away, that their meat will tense up a little bit. It's just kind of a theory I have about deer. But speaking of that, I've had white-tailed deer that are more gamey tasting than that tar, so that took me by complete surprise. I could see how a tar nanny, which is their female smaller tar, you know, especially a young one, would be absolutely delicious. Marinate this meat and it's going to be really, really good. But what we had on the table besides me and Chewy was awesome, y'all, especially just after everything that we've been through, refueling with some protein. Incredible. So the rest of this meat right here, this is one little backstrap we're going to give to the warden and any of the other campers up here. It's actually cold enough, we're going to preserve it, so the warden's going to let everyone know if they want some fresh tar steaks. This cabin here is managed by a warden, and they rotate like every 9 days. They'll hike in here about 7 miles or so, and then they'll kind of check on the other camps that are about 3 or 4 little satellite camps around here, and it's their job to, you know, make sure the place doesn't burn down, keep coal up here. Like, it's their job to manage it basically. And we had a really nice warden staying here while we were here, and we just want to thank him by giving him some of this meat as well, so I'm sure he's going to enjoy it. One last piece of work we got to do, we got to finish caping the face of the tar, which is basically so that I can take it back to the taxidermist, and we're going to skull cap it. So you don't need the whole skull when you're doing a mount, you know, so any kind of deer or anything, you just take the little top skull portion. And it's especially good because we don't have to carry that whole extra weight. That head itself is probably 10 pounds. The entire animal, I think, was probably between 225, 250 in weight. They're so much bigger than I thought they were, because the whole time I was looking at them from so far away, and finally walking up on it, it's like, this is a massive animal. It's like Todd said, a mix between like a bulldog, gorilla, and a goat. Like, it's just such a crazy mythical looking creature. So we're going to take our time with caping, make sure we do a really good job. I want this mount to be as good as it can be. Every time I look at this tar, I'm just going to think of the experience, the adventure that has taken place here. So let's get over there and let's finish caping out. Howdy. Just wondering if you wanted some of the tar meat? Yeah?
Yeah.
Thanks for looking out for us.
Yeah, well, you come over there for nothing, maybe.
Yeah. He said cheers. It's always good. Cheers, mate. That way he'll have some good protein up here for the rest of his time.
Bring it through that staple there, just so it brings it away from this pole a little bit.
Crucial part here, right behind the horns.
Can't have too many beers before you do this part.
What's the hardest one you've ever done? That buffalo?
Buffalo's pretty easy. It's big, everything's big, and it's all the smaller stuff that's the finesse. I want to take the most time with that sheep, stone sheep, because, you know, the guy's paid $40,000 to kill it, so a little pressure when the hunter's looking over your shoulder.
Todd teach you how to do it?
Yep. This is definitely easier than the whitetail.
It's like a game of Twister again.
Just got done cleaning it up a little bit, scraping a lot of the head meat out.
Brains and all the good stuff.
Scraping her, so all the brains, brain surgery. We're gonna get an official measurement here. Now that we can see the very end of the horns.
13 and 7/8.
13 7/8. Almost a 14. Look at that mass though. God,
That mass is
dang.
nuts.
It's a big boy. Todd just measured it. The longest horn on there was 13 7/8. So almost 14 inches long, 14-inch bull tar. That's like a huge, that's considered mega trophy. Like, that'd be like a 10-pound bass basically. But one of the really cool things you could do is you can count the age of the tar by these growth rings.
Well, they got these, like they call annuli. It's just like a mountain sheep. It's like that defined ring that goes all the way around the horn, the whole horn. You see it pretty. You can see the definitive rings there. The spaces between the lines. So you start with there 1, 2, 3, 4. It's getting thicker. 5, 6, 7. There's an 8th one here, and then what we call the lamb tip here, which is basically the first 18 months. So you've got your 9.5. Is 9.5 a year, which technically is down here, but I kind of count backwards from the start.
Right.
So technically, if you're counting front ways, you'd be 18 months, then 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5, 6.5, 7.5, 8.5, 9.5.
So this part here, this is when they're just young and
Yep, probably
growing
still
up.
on mum.
Yep,
Yep, pretty good. Pretty.
that's an old animal as far as
pretty
animals
ancient for
go.
a tar.
Yeah,
We a lot of hunters, you know, it's hard. They look so good from about 4 or 5 years old, with their big manes and stuff. So a tar, 4, 5, 6 years old, they start to look pretty good from the ground. So a lot of those younger bulls get shot, and not a lot to get to reach this kind of age, which is kind of one of the pluses and one of the reasons why I hunt this area. It's so thick with scrub that these older bulls get a chance to live. And yeah, you just got to get lucky and be in the right place at the right time and let one of these old boys make a mistake, which this guy hasn't done for 10 years. And yeah, not to mention all the helicopters this guy's probably dodged in his time. They get a lot of heli hunting pressure in this area. These big old boys, they kind of know the drill, and as soon as they hear the wash of that helicopter rotor, they head for cover. And yeah, they like to play a pretty good. They play a good hide and seek. So
there we go, y'all. Caping's done. I've got the skull done, all the stuff picked out of it, lightened the load dramatically. The taste of the tar was surprisingly good, and Wendy and Todd did a great job cooking it up in the skillet. All I gotta do now is get this tar back down the mountain about 7 miles or so, but the hard part is over, y'all. So we got one more thing I'm gonna show you on the next video. There's some thermal pools around here that are really neat, and then of course the journey back with all the gear. So thank you for tuning in to This Catch and Cook. Go ahead and hit the like button for the most exotic thing that I've ever eaten before. And if you guys want to stay tuned, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the ding dongs for all the notifications. And I'll see you on the next one. Woo! About a quarter way down the mountain. I think New Zealand's gonna rear its ugly raining head again. Time for the rain cover.